to make a good impression. My mom pulled out a frilly dress, and then another, and another. She seemed to be manifesting the clown car style out of the closet. And what better way to make a good impression than with an outfit that stands out? Mom wasn't exactly an expert at making a good impression, given how quickly her friends would come and go. A nice lady would come over for tea and cookies. The next week she'd be banished for spying on the family or stealing Mom's hairdryer. We'd always find the hairdryer the next day, but the nice lady would be long gone. So I was going to make an impression, but I was going to do it my way. A silver sparkly t-shirt, a silver sequined tutu, sparkly tights, sparkly shoes, and sparkly snap-on earrings. And of course, I had to top off the fit with a sparkly sequined bow. And I wore it proudly, knowing it was my choice to do so. But I looked like an off-brand JoJo Siwa, and I freaking loved it. Dressed for the part, I found my place on the drama club and earned my reputation as the dorky extrovert with a knack for the nonsensical. And I enjoyed it. But I did always wonder what it would be like if I hadn't been typecast so quickly. What if I were like Catherine, the skinny salutatorian whose quiet, mousy voice only made others lean in closer? Or Tamika, the supermodel teen with a test average as strong as her sports skills? Those little whispers and what-ifs got louder with each year, especially once being me stopped feeling so good. Well past midnight during my freshman year, I sat against my bedroom door, or rather, in front of it. My back was pushed uncomfortably against a dresser in a makeshift barricade in case my mom tried to come in again. Every minute or so, I'd send another terrified, shaky text update to my dad as she screamed and slammed cabinet doors a room over. It was a few days after my dad won custody, and one of the last nights I'd spend in my hometown of Duluth before changing high schools for good. Another shout, another crash, and then the bizarre blast of Queen's We Will Rock You as she cranked the radio to full blast and screamed along. So, it was gonna be another one of those nights. I buckled in. I covered my ears and tried to remember when things were okay, when my mom's chaos was more fun than frightening. And I'd come home to her craft projects strewn across the living room, glitter glue crusted in the carpet strands, or sing along to show tunes on the piano. If I could only stay in that moment, smiling wide across the keys, maybe things would be okay. But soon enough, her expression would shift and she'd be slamming shut the cover, convinced that there were microphones hidden in the hammers. Being there, surrounded by her colors and chaos and thrifted tchotchkes, is a little like living in an art gallery. But for a diagnosed paranoid schizophrenic like my mother, it's a little hard to enjoy an art gallery if you're convinced it's on fire. I needed to find the exit. As I climbed the steps to my new school, I realized I finally had a chance to play a role my mom hadn't dressed me up for. I threw myself into my studies, distracting myself from ongoing alimony squabbles by focusing on calculus and AP prep. I began exercising religiously and watching my weight, trying to achieve that supermodel body the A-list at my old school maintained with ease. I even trained myself to speak more softly to achieve that perfect, mousy voice. I climbed the social ladder at my new school with stellar grades and started dropping pounds like they were nothing. I had friends, popular, trendy friends. It didn't matter that it wasn't really me that they were friends with. It didn't matter when getting straight A's became a compulsion rather than a goal, when my diet and exercise routine developed into an acute eating disorder and it became harder to drag my body out of bed each day. It didn't matter when, to keep myself from being too loud, I gradually shifted from quieting my voice to simply not speaking much at all. Slowly, the friends I had made split away from me to find someone more interesting to talk to. Graduation should have been a celebration, but it was the day I shattered. I plastered on a fake smile and winced at the click of my mom's camera shutter. I bit my tongue and stayed silent as she immortalized the worst day of my life in a photo. I stared at the splintered girl in the picture and wondered if I'd ever be able to pick up the pieces. I don't think I'm playing a part anymore, but I do keep the broken pieces of every part I've played. The odd lines from my middle school play intense studying growing into a love for biomedical engineering, the warm hug of my old friends as we exchanged stories before bed, my flinch at the sound of a neighbor's footsteps late at night. But now, surrounded by people who don't expect me to act a certain way, I'm actually kind of glad I never threw away that photo of the broken girl in a blue graduation gown. I am done hiding pieces of myself just because they hurt. Yes, some of those pieces are dark, but some of them sparkle.